All right then, good morning, everyone. Today is March 31st, 2021. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in Albany and also remotely. We have in attendance Chairman Bradley in the Authority's Albany office. We have Commissioner Ford and Commissioner Fan participating remotely by video. Staff in attendance, we have General Counsel Meyerhoff in the Albany offices, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing, Adam Roberts in the Authority's Albany offices, and myself, Secretary Donnie, also in the Albany offices. The next meeting of the Authority will be April 14th and April 28th. Those are both Wednesdays. And they will also be conducted as we have been for the past year or so, remotely using video conferencing with no live appearances by any of the licensees or applicants who have members before us. All right, before we get started, Chairman, do you have any announcements?
No, I don't.
All right, then. First item we have is 811. This is a conditional offer cancellation and bond claim for a license that works. It had been, but is no longer summarily suspended.
Cancel and bond accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 812, another conditional offer of $2,500. Commissioner Fan,
2,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,500 accept.
and Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
813 is a conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford
1,500 accept.
and Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
814 is a conditional offer of $1,500. Commissioner
1,500
Fan,
accept. I'm going to counter at 3,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, I thought this was a little bit low too, considering their history. So I'll go with Commissioner Fan at 3,000.
and Chairman Bradley.
I'll go to 3,000.
Next item is 815. It's a conditional offer of $1,500.
No, well, I don't use it plugged in.
That's your batteries though, because usually the setting goes to that, because it's not.
I'll accept.
It's not being brighter with.
Commissioner
How could the
Ford,
battery be low? It's been plugged in for 2 days.
I have no idea.
We're on 815, correct?
we're on 815.
Battery
And you're
Just
Albany,
leave it up.
Albany, you guys, Albany, not muted, so we
Thanks,
get some
Tom.
background noise, please. Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
816. It's a no contest plea.
This is surrendered, so I'm at cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Yes, cancel and bond.
Chairman Bradley.
Cancel and bond.
817 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
818 is a conditional offer of $7,500 for a license that's been summarily suspended since March 3rd. Commissioner Fan,
This CNC, I think it's a little low. The letter, it's a little thin. I'm gonna counter at 15,000.
all right, Commissioner Ford,
I thought it was a little bit low too. I was going to counter at 12,000.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, it definitely is low because even the non-executive order charges would put you at, 7,500 or 8,000. So I'm gonna counter with Commissioner Fan at 15,000.
819 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept. Sorry.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
820 is a $2,000 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna counter at 4,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Only because there's no prior documented EO violations and they've been open since what, 2012? No other violations since 2013, so I'll accept the 2,000.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, just for the record, this case, obviously we sent the amount up, but this was a location that had that committed multiple executive order violations that are not kind of the run of the mill that would get the kind of the usual amount. They had 20 people standing and drinking at a bar with no social distancing, or 20 people at the bar, 6 standing and drinking, 12 were playing pool. They had a DJ and 3 bartenders that weren't wearing masks. Our investigator ordered food and ordered alcohol, was not required to purchase food. So they ran the gamut, and this is a case that was, you know, in many circumstances that maybe there were a few more people in there, would have been a summary suspension. So
What, Tom, what are the two offers, or two counters that they have?
We have $4,000 counter offer from Commissioner Fan. Commissioner Ford is proposing to accept the CNC.
Yeah, I'll go to 4,000 counter.
Tom, you can change mine to 4,000 as well.
Okay. The next item is 821. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
822 is a conditional offer of $1,500. Commissioner Fan
I'll accept 1,500.
and Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
823 is a conditional offer of $5,000. Commissioner Fan,
This was a wedding event. Hundreds of people. I'm gonna counter at 7,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Uh, I will, I thought it should be even higher than 7,500, but I'll go with 7,500 with Commissioner Fan.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, this definitely should be higher. The only reason this didn't get summarily suspended by us was because the local government had suspended them already. So I'll go to 7,500 as well.
824 is a $4,000 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I actually think this is a little high, so I'm gonna go to 2,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Uh, what did you say, Commissioner Fan? 2,000?
Yeah, it's second time, but 2 employees, no mask. I'm gonna go to 2,000.
All right. I'll do 2,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll go lower as well to the same amount as Commissioner Fan.
Next item is 825. It's a defaulted pleading.
I'm at 4,500.
Commissioner Ford,
I didn't respond. Sale to minor on the Trey's name. Just for liquor license. I'm at 5,000.
Chairman Bradley.
5,000.
Commissioner Fan, what was yours?
I was so generous. I was at 4,500.
Okay.
Next item, 826. It's another pleading default. Commissioner Fan,
I'm at 1,500.
okay, Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, one patron, 1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
Next time is 8/27. It's a conditional offer of $2,000. Commissioner Fan,
This is 64 people inside. It's low, but I'll take it.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, I think it's kind of low too. But they don't have any history since 2004, so I'll take it as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next time is 8/28. Conditional offer of $1,500. Commissioner Fan,
1,500 accept.
sorry for speaking over you. Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next time is 8/29. A conditional offer of $50,000. This license expired back in October. That's just, it's a summer license. It's a seasonal license. It'll be renewed next year or this
Yeah,
season.
and as part of my ongoing effort to make sure that the board has accurate information in front of it, I read Mr. Mills' CNC letter carefully and investigated the claims that he made in there, and I need to bring a few matters to the board's attention. The first thing is he simultaneously claims that he was instructing patrons to take their drinks and food to go only. This was back at a time when only to-go service was permitted. So he says that, but he also says in the same letter that this was at a point where the rules were changing every week, as if to say it was too confusing for him to comply with the rules. Well, which is it? It can't be both. And the answer is, it has nothing to do with the rules changing, because this took place at the end of May. And at the end of May, on-premise services had been restricted since March without a single change. And it was not changed to permit outside service for a couple weeks after that. So there were no rules changing. I don't know where he got that from, but it doesn't seem accurate. The next thing you have to look at is he says that he was instructing patrons to take their drinks and food to go only. And the only reason that people were caught inside the premises or on the premises was because there was a rainstorm. But Mr. Mills forgets that there were actually two incidents. And in the first incident, law enforcement saw him with a DJ playing music at his place and people there. And then in the second event, he had his television going. In our report on the second event, our investigator was led to the bar by a hostess and then overheard the manager talking about how they had been informed by the police that they had to cool it, they had to keep it, do a better job, which they clearly weren't doing. So there were two incidents. This was not about a rainstorm. It looks like this was all made up to try to make it seem like the charges weren't so serious or his conduct wasn't so serious, which is problem enough on EO violations. But then the same operator is asking us to credit his story on how he has not been availing this license to these other people who were clearly the owners with him for probably since inception. He claims that he was the sole owner in 1998, and that at some point at around 2005, employees who worked for him were cut into the business as owners based on the work they'd done before and that they were expected to do. Apparently some kind of sweat equity deal, which was oral only. So put that to the side for the moment, and whether or not that sounds credible. And then go to the LinkedIn page of Mr. Miller, who's one of the availees. He says he's owned the place since 1998. So he's contradicted by a contemporaneous document at the time of the investigation. So there's a lot of stuff in here that's not true. Whether that means that he can't be trusted to operate going forward is certainly up to the board. He's made a substantial offer, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the fine that's been offered, but the notion that he is has complied or was just unintentionally not complying with the law seems to be undermined by some of these inconsistencies in his story.
All right, with that then, Commissioner Fan.
I'm going to accept 50,000, but I'm also going to require that they do the corporate change and fix the ownership records.
Okay, so just for clarification then, is the extra condition just that they file the application? Because there's no guarantee one way or the other if it gets approved.
Commissioner
Yes.
Finn,
yeah. Chairman, we did that one time with the ownership structure when you remember that the
Yeah,
cousin.
I don't have a problem doing it. I just want to make sure we're not handcuffing Adam. So you want it to be when the application is filed. So this is when they get their license back. If they pay the fine and application is filed, they can have their license back.
Well, they don't.
Is that what you're saying?
they-
Hold on, let me see what she's saying.
Any version of that, I just want them to fix the corporate change because, I don't want 10 years from now to get the same song and dance.
Okay.
Well, but there's also an issue that I'm not prejudging this, but this board does have a history of not allowing a corporate change to individuals who've availed the license without notice to the board.
Right. I think she's saying offering that she's willing to vote that she would approve the corporate change.
all right.
I'm assuming, is that correct?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I would recommend that the corporate change be filed and approved by licensing and not just filed, so that way we can correctly vet all of the potential principles of the license.
That sounds fine to me, Adam. Is that okay? I don't
Well,
know. You guys vote, I don't know.
so if the counteroffer is 50,000 plus approval of the application and it's not approved, then the alternate penalty would kick in. I just want to make sure everybody's clear about that.
Well, yes.
So there would be a counter, Commissioner Finn, if I'm,
So
Understand.
Tom, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do her offer, and if it's not approved, it comes back to the board. Adam will notify you, and it will come back to the board.
all right, so that's. Can I make another suggestion?
Sure.
If you're conditioning them getting the license, now the license, only if there's a corporate change approved, why not just hold the offer in abeyance until the application is filed and processed? And then you'll know. And you
Wait,
can
I'm
say-
sorry. It doesn't say on here that this license is suspended.
I'm sorry, it's not suspended, but it's not, it hasn't been, they have to renew it.
It's seasonal.
All right, so that's the other question. Are you
Next
going to, renew-
time. So
are you
what's
going,
the
are you
purpose?
going to allow it to be renewed with all this going on?
Are they
No,
renewing now?
we're gonna do what you suggested. We're gonna hold it in abeyance until it's approved by Adam.
The corporate change and then the renewal as well.
Yes, and the 50,000.
All right, so we'll hold the matter over. Or we can just return to council's, it might be cleaner just to return to council's office, have them file the corporate change application, get that taken care of. Then once that's taken care of, you can then consider this offer. Because I'm just gonna
Correct.
tell you, it's gonna get very sloppy if we're talking about making a counteroffer that's conditioned on approval of an application. If it doesn't get approved, it comes back to the board.
Well, how did we do it last time? There was one scenario where there was an availing charge. We gave back the license and there was a requirement that they file the corporate change. How did we do it that time?
But it was just that they filed the application. Now you're talking about requiring the
Oh, I
approval.
didn't
of
say
it.
that. I didn't say that. I'm okay with them just filing it.
Okay, so if you're just okay with them filing the application, that's a lot cleaner then. Then just ask Commissioner Ford, where are you at?
That seems to make the most sense to me. They're not even open now anyway, right? So it's not like the holdup is the requirement to them to get this corporate licensing, corporate filing done, holding them up. They're not open anyway. Is that correct? They're seasonal.
Well, that's a separate issue, is
Here-
whether or not you're going
here's-
to allow licensing to act on the renewal application.
Yeah, there's an issue. Suppose they put in a personal questionnaire for the people who we don't even know about. We only know about them because they told the world that they were the owners of this place. And they're disqualified because they're police officers or they're felons or
Or they got an adverse history that's
Yeah.
as long as my leg.
right. So
It just doesn't, we can do it on the filing, but it just may not get you what you want. You may end up with them with a denial.
Correct. I mean, I think the intention here is to have disclosed interest on the application and on the license. But as council pointed out, there's a chance that people who aren't on the license currently that will apply to be may not be statutory eligible to hold a license. So certainly,
Yeah,
if you want
but-
to just have it filed, we can have it filed. But again,
Well, but we
Chairman's
can
put it
only
in.
do so much. I mean, they're the people that are putting $50,000 on the table and not fixing their corporate arrangement. I mean, it's not our job to make sure that they can be in business next season.
That's true.
It's their
Well-
job to make sure that their paperwork is sorted out and that all the ownership interest it's disclosed, to the extent that this case is saying that it's not fully disclosed. And there's a long letter here explaining how they messed it up, which if I buy it, okay, fine, you have the next, 4 to 6 weeks to fix it so that you can operate. I think that's on them.
You're right.
I agree. They're seeking to settle an availing charge that they've admitted.
Exactly. And so, I think that
There you
as a
go.
board, we can say, Adam, please, when it comes in, expedite it because it is seasonal, but I think that's kind of where it ends.
Okay.
So may I suggest this?
Sure.
I don't think we should just have the CNC held over. I think the case should come back to council's office. They should apply, and they can resubmit their CNC when they either have their corporate change, or they've advised us that they're no longer allowing anyone to avail the license, because one of those two things has to happen before we can renew this license.
Okay.
Right?
back-
'Cause
Back to council in the meantime.
Correct, and we'll act on it deliberately, quickly, but I think, Commissioner Fan, I think you're right. This is something that was their responsibility to fix, and they have not fixed.
And it actually should have been fixed already.
And, they knew about these charges a year ago, and,
Yeah, we still don't have a corp. Yeah. This is May of 2020 this happened.
they were charged with availing back then.
Yeah, send it back.
Okay.
We're not doing anything till there's a corporate change.
All right, so Commissioner Fan, you want to return to council's office? Since you denied the
Absolutely.
CNC, return to council's office.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford,
It's fine with me. Back to
Chairman
council.
Bradley.
Yeah, send it back to council's office, and just to make it clear that they should also expect to pay the fine before they ever get their license renewed as well.
So members, I just want to make clear that there actually was a corporate change filed in October that was disapproved pending the resolution of these charges. So that changes
So,
things.
so reactivate that.
So we'll reactivate the corporate change and process that as we normally would.
Okay.
And I would just also note that if you're going to be with the current deferments, if you're going to be seeking the money before the license is renewed, as the chairman knows, that needs to be clearly indicated in the offer that they're going to pay right away and agree not to be subject to the deferment if the deferment is still in effect at the time.
Why would the deferment be in effect? It was a summary.
No, it wasn't a summary.
Oh,
No, it
okay.
wasn't a summer suspension.
All right. So I'm treating it like a summary.
Well, but they're going to have to agree to that. You're going to have to make a specific exception to the advisory at the time. All right.
We spent enough
next-
time on this. Let's go.
Next item is 830. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 831, $2,500 conditional offer.
2,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
This is 831, Tom?
this is 831, correct?
I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 832, $1,500 conditional offer.
I will lower this to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll go to 1,000.
Chairman Bradley.
1,000.
Next item is 833, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 834, $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 835, a conditional offer of $1,500. Commissioner Fan,
I'll lower this to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll do 1,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
Next item is 836, a $1,500 conditional offer.
This is a license since 1997, known at first history since 1998. I will go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Same here for all the same reasons.
Chairman Bradley.
1,000.
Next item is 837, a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I will take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 838, a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 839, a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
We got a meaningful letter from the owners here. I'm gonna go to 500.
Commissioner Ford,
It says that they may be shutting the door permanently. Not that they are, but they may.
Well, they have a third one one already failed, one is barely making it, and the third is almost over. Well, I'm not, this was one person standing next to the French doors inside
Yeah.
with a beer.
but at that time, indoor dining was prohibited in New York City. I'll cut them some slack too. I would go down to 1,000 though.
Okay.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll do 1,000.
Next item is 840. This is a default at pleading.
I'm at Councilman Bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Non-bona fide, no response, canceling bond.
Chairman Bradley,
What number was he at?
840.
Oh, I'm sorry, canceling bond.
841. It's a pleading default.
I'm at, oh, Jerry? $841?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got caught up with something else. So,
That's okay.
841 is a default. We received a letter from the representative of the licensee who claims he was surprised to see it as a default because he sent a letter that said his client was pleading not guilty, and attached the letter, which I can't tell whether it was sent or not, but it had the wrong address on it. So it's possible he sent it and we didn't receive it. But he has surfaced, and they do want to plead not guilty. So it's up to the board, but I do not have an issue with having this sent back to counsel's office for them to defend the case.
All right then, Commissioner Fan, you're muted, Commissioner Fan.
Yes, sorry, I'm good with back to counsel's office. Thank you, Gary.
Commissioner Ford,
Back to council.
Chairman Bradley.
Back to council.
Next item is 842. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
This is a liquor store violation. I'm gonna go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, they've been in operations since 2000, 21 years. I'll give them 1,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley,
1,000.
next item 843. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 844. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
845 is a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan? You're muted, Commissioner Fan.
I'm sorry, I'll accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
846, a $2,500 conditional offer.
I'll accept 2,500.
Commissioner Ford,
I was actually willing to go just a little bit lower, maybe to 2,000.
Yeah, I had that written down actually. Yeah, okay, 2,000.
Chairman Bradley.
2,000.
847 is a pleading default.
I'm at 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
848 is a pleading default.
I'm at 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
849 is a conditional offer of $15,000. This license has been summarily suspended since January 6th.
15.
Le-
Oh,
You've got
sorry.
some supplemental material on this that amends the pleading.
Yeah,
Commissioner
just to clarify for the record, since the board first received this case, we amended the pleading to change charge 6. That amended pleading went to the representative for the licensee, and the representative resubmitted the CNC on the amended pleading. So you should have the new record in front of you.
All right then, Commissioner Fan,
Yep, I was at 15,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Oh, I see what you did there, Gary. Yes. Okay. I'll accept the 15,000.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel and bond. It's obvious that this guy was running this deli like a on-premise licensee. The gambling machines in there. There were 15 people drinking beer, not wearing face masks inside the grocery store. So, this is beyond just the COVID stuff.
All right then, the next item is 850. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I will accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Except,
Next item is 851. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
except,
Next is 852, a $5,000 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford,
I think this should probably be a little bit higher, but I'll accept the 5,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
except,
853, it's a $4,000 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley. 854, it's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'm gonna lower this to 1,000. They've been in business since 1998.
Commissioner Ford,
1,000.
Chairman Bradley.
1,000.
855, conditional offer $2,500. Commissioner Fan,
I accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
You mean 2,500?
right, 2,500 is the offer.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, I'll accept as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
856, it's a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
Go to 1,000. This is one employee with no mask. Thanks.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll go to 1,000 too.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
Next time is 857, it's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I will accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
858 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
859 is a $10,000 conditional offer. This license was summarily suspended back on February 28th.
I'll accept 10,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept 10,000.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
860 and 870. This is a conditional offer cancellation of bond claim for a license that was summarily suspended back on January 22nd.
Cancel and bond accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I don't either. Accept.
861, a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll lower this to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, no history in 21 years. I'll go to 1,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
1,000.
Next item is 862. It's a conditional offer of $1,500.
I'm gonna accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, based on history, and they've already got one deferred, right? Yeah. I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
3,000. Only because it was their second offense.
Next item is 863. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
864 is a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner
I will
Fan,
take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept 1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
865 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I would take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford
1,500 accept.
and Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
866 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
867 is a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
868 is a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
Accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
and Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
869 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
871 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
872 is a $25,000 conditional offer. It's been a summary suspension in effect since February 28th. Commissioner Fan,
Um, I realized this was egregious, but ultimately there was only 2 charges. So at the very least, I want to lower this down to 20. I'm at 20,000.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
I'll go to 20. Well,
Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna stick at 25 simply because it is only 2 charges, but it's the same exact 2 charges that they were charged with in November of 2020, except this time, rather than a few people, they had 60 to 70 people, 40 of them standing with no masks. So they obviously didn't learn their lesson, so maybe they will this time.
All right, 873 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I would take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford.
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
874 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
875 is a $1,500 conditional offer. And just so you know, the license has been renewed through 2023. Your agenda sheet says it expires on tomorrow.
Right. I will go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, another one since 2001 with no history whatsoever, and it was just one employee in the kitchen. So I'll go to 1,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll go to 1,000.
There,
Next item is 876. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
Uh, 1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 877. It's a $5,000 conditional offer.
I accept 5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
878 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 879. It's a $7,000 conditional offer.
I'm gonna counter at 10,500.
All right. Commissioner Ford.
I'll counter at 10.5 as well. They've got a couple charges before that, so I'll 10.5 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll counter at 10.5 as well because it is 2 charges on 2 separate dates, and that's the reason I'm countering at 10.5. But I do have to comment on the owner's letter. At least I felt like he was treating us like it was our first day of doing this because he was trying to blame it on his worker, who he says he told to order the cigarettes. I don't even know where you would order untaxed cigarettes. And I imagine that the owner does, so.
right, but just for the record, our practice is that a first offense is 3,500 and a second offense is 7,000. So that's what happened here. There's a first offense and a second offense being settled, so they add together to 10,500.
Chairman, you get them at the untaxed cigarette wholesale store.
They
Next
have
item is
they have untaxed cigarettes?
Next item is 880. $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 861, another $1,500 conditional offer.
You mean 881?
881, I'm sorry, yes.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
882, a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
883 is a transfer of grocery store beer wine products license.
So this is a store with 2 employees, principal to manage. The previous application for a license here was denied on character and fitness ground. The prior applicant was selling untaxed cigarettes while on a temporary license. The prior applicant is selling the store to this applicant. The only thing that I point out is that this current applicant's email address appears to be the same, or at least it's the same name as the previous applicant who we denied, which to me seems like a connection that I am concerned about.
Yeah, and there's also, for the record, the current applicant has listed as a prior job cashier at the Sweet Grocery Smoke Shop on 956 Intervale Avenue between 2018 and 2019. The prior applicant who's purportedly selling this business to her in an arm's length transaction purportedly also was a cashier at the Sweet Grocery Smoke Shop, 956 Intervale Avenue. So they must at least know each other, and the common name with the email raises a potential flag.
All right, then with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes, I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, I find something suspicious about this as well, that this could be all in the family. I'm just not quite sure, or maybe not, but it's going to require some clarification to gain my support. So I'm voting to deny.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to deny.
Next item is 884. It's application to change the method of operation.
So bar tavern with 2 employees, no security guards, and principal is managing. They currently have recorded music only, a 12:30 a.m. closing time, and they want DJ, karaoke, and live music with patron dancing and a 2 a.m. closing time. They were summarily suspended on September 21st, 2020, and paid $15,000 fine. That suspension was for having a DJ, no food service, plus additional other violations. The application indicates it has an outdoor patio that we were not aware of previous to this. Is that accurate, Adam?
It is.
All right, then. Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
So Adam, they originally had 2 a.m.
There were prior to the summary suspension when the full board imposed a stipulation of 12:30 a.m. closing, there was no hours restriction per the members on this license.
I thought his original application indicated he was only going to be open until 9 p.m.
The original application for the wine license was 9 p.m. They were indicating in one of the supplemental materials that when they submitted their class change, they indicated that the chef would be available to 2 a.m. So they're taking the position that that's what we approved, was a 2 a.m. closing.
So they had 2 a.m., not 4 a.m.
Right,
Based on the
they're,
prior app. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, they're, as I understand it, from the supplemental material, their position is their closing time is 2 AM because that's what they said with the class change as far as when the chef would be available.
I understand. And then and before the suspension, they only had recorded music only?
That's correct.
Okay. So in other words, if and when all the yield violation enforcement issues get lifted, like at that time when we collectively adjust all the hours back, this will be part of that, right, Gary? Like when we
Yeah, that's
actually-
correct. We have a procedure in place through an advisory that anybody who has an EO-related curfew imposed will be able to seek a quick, once COVID is over, we'll be able to
Right.
receive a quick change back to that. So that does not need to be addressed through
A method of
a method of operation change.
Okay, great.
And then there's the separate issue of the entertainment, which, just for the record, the EO violations that led to the suspension did not just involve patients congregating. They were also using a DJ that was so loud that it was heard across the street when they weren't permitted to, and they're now asking to amplify their music privileges.
And I mean, I would also recommend anybody who's watching not to submit method of operation changes for hours if it was something that the full board had done through a summary suspension. Again, as council referred to, there's an advisory out there, and the authority will make public the process for handling those conditions once the time is appropriate to do so.
Okay. So, Tom, I think I'm ready to vote.
Okay then, Commissioner Fan,
All right, I'm gonna vote no on the hours because of the advisory. And I'm gonna vote no on the music. Please wait at least 1 year after your suspension to come back for that. Thank you.
I see, so are you denying everything, including the patron dancing?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Ford,
I'm denying everything as well.
Chairman Bradley,
I'm denying everything as well, and please indicate on the letter that they don't have the right to use an outdoor patio at this point unless they filed with licensing. Even under COVID, there was a process that they had to go through, and it's clear that they did not go through that.
okay. Next item is 885. This is a transfer of a grocery store beer and wine products license.
The store with 11 employees, principal to manage. The previous license here was canceled for availing. The applicant was the availer of that license. The applicant previously applied here and was denied. That principal, or the applicant, I should say, has failed to disclose that denial on this application. The applicant's employment history, though, does include ownership of this store for 2 years while it was still licensed to the previous licensee, indicating to me that he availed the license for at least 2 years.
Right then, Commissioner Fan,
Yeah, while I agree with everything the chairman said, it seems like this owner has been at this location since 2016. Doesn't seem like she's about to move off this location. So it's gonna be my what the hell of the day. I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
This is one that she didn't disclose a prior attempt to license with the SLA. Is that correct, Gary? Just the one I'm thinking of here.
No, well, look, every application says, have you applied for licenses before? And
Yeah.
she said no when she applied for the license, didn't get it, and has been sitting there for 2 years without it, at least operating this place. So no one knows better than her that she's applied and didn't get one. But, having said that, She also has been substantially affected by her prior availing already for a number of years. So that's really the rub.
Uh, I'm going to go along with Commissioner Fan, and I'll vote to approve this as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna vote to deny.
Next time is 886. This is a class change from an on-premises wine to an on-premises liquor license.
This is a restaurant with 8 employees, no security. The principal will manage full-time, recorded music only, no dancing. Does plan to close several times a year to host private events. They will not use promoters. The max occupancy is 74 with seating for 28. The licensee has another active license. That license does have pending EO violations that they have defaulted on. They need a restroom waiver, and they're looking for a class change on this from an RW to a full OP.
But they have made a CNC on that other violation, correct?
That they defaulted, am I wrong?
No, I think they made an offer, 1,500.
Wait, 886 we're talking about?
Yeah.
No, there is a CNC that's two-faced master charge that's already been issued. I'm sorry, it's already on, I think it's on the next calendar. It's either on this calendar or the next calendar.
But it's a CNC?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they did not, I correct myself, they did not default, they have a CNC.
Usually.
And they don't have any other adverse history that I really see, so.
No, that's correct.
Even at their other.
Yep. So I'm for approval, I guess that's what I'm saying.
All right, so let's go back. Commissioner Fan,
I'm
I'll
sorry.
vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
Approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve.
Tom, can I have 2 minutes?
Sure thing. We'll take a brief recess. All right, then, are we ready to proceed? Great, let me just. All right, then. The next item is 887. This is a new on-premises liquor license application.
It's a restaurant with 6 employees, no security guards. Principals will manage recorded music with no dancing, no promoters, and no private events. The max occupancy is 154 people, 20 tables with 92 seats. There are 16 seats at the bar. They have an outdoor patio that they did not ask to license, but they appear to be using it with music right now. The prior license here was canceled due to adverse history. The applicant was previously denied at this location for cause. The applicant landlord is the prior licensee. The community board objects due to complaints from the community. And it appears in a residential neighborhood.
All right,
Community
then.
board-
Letters. Hold on. There are also many letters articulating noise complaints at a regular occurrence. They're using DJs and live entertainment, and it's apparent based on the complaints that they're not currently operating as a restaurant.
Yeah, and just to point out for the record, the reason these complaints wouldn't have come to us is because they're not licensed. There would be no reason for anybody to send complaints. And the DJ and live entertainment issues are in connection with a restaurant that is purportedly operating without alcoholic beverages.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes, as Chairman said, this location was previous license and really caused a lot of disturbance for the neighbors. Endless letters telling us that their bedrooms would shake and, people can't sleep, people can't function, quality of life. It's really bad. And, so I'm gonna have to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm just trying to clear up something here. They filed the application in July of last summer. And in this letter dated March 22nd, it's saying that the community board recommended to approve its stipulations on April 24th before they apply. Oh, yeah, well, that would make sense. But I don't. Oh, I see. This is the very last page. Yes. So it does look like they do have community board approval, but there's some pretty strenuous letters of objection from residents in the area, and I can kind of see their point. So I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny. The community board has made it plain that this place is operating without a liquor license, and they're a big problem already. So I think that's a pretty bad sign of what they would be doing with alcohol. It has the same method of operation as the previous license that was canceled here, that had a very bad history and was doing the same type of behaviors. So I don't see. I'm going to vote to deny for cause.
Oh, and this community board letter, just by the way, email is over a year ago. Okay. Just to clear that up for myself.
Next item is 888. It's a transfer of an on-premises liquor license, and it's a 500-foot matter.
It's a restaurant with 16 employees, 3 security guards. Principals will act as managers. They want live, recorded, DJ, karaoke music. No dancing, no promoters, no private events. 13 tables with 74 seats, the bar with 4 seats. Both principals of this applicant have a negative history with the SLA. Both have had other licenses with significant adverse history. One has a summary on their record, the other has pending charges. The application was previously denied for these applicants at this location. This community board does have STIPs that allows music, allows all of the music they're asking for, plus a 4 a.m. closing. One principal has actually paid a $40,000 fine to the SLA in October of 2020. There are 12 licenses currently licensed within 500 feet. It is a 500-foot case. They have a sidewalk cafe with 5 tables with 20 seats, and they also have a COVID outdoor cafe with 12 tables with 36 seats. The ALJ did find public interest. 500-foot hearing.
Yeah, and just for the record, there are 2 principals. Maria Ochoa's also the owner of Lunera, which is got to be within if within 500 feet of.
Oh, I think it's not, I think it's like within a couple buildings.
32-25 Steinway, it says. And that's the one that has the pending charges, including, and there's a not guilty plea on those. And the other licensees, the other applicant is Luz Valencia. She is the owner of El Paisa, which I believe is also in Astoria, although not directly on Steinway Street. That's the one that had an EO suspension for which a $40,000 fine was paid. And the supplemental suggests that if the license is approved, Maria Ochoa will buy out Luz Valencia.
All right, so
If we
with all
approve,
that,
if we approve this based on that, how do we hold her accountable to that?
Can't.
Well, that's a good question. I guess you could make it, well, in theory, if it was where you wanted to head, you could make the approval conditional on presentation of the contracted sale or something like that, and a change and I don't know. They'd have to change their application, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that we need to consider this application on the merits that's being presented right now, that this applicant principal has applied as a part of this entity, and that's what's being presented.
all right, so with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes, since the ALJ found public interest in the 500-foot hearing, I am going to vote to approve adopting all the stipulations that the community board issued.
All right, Commissioner Ford,
I want to vote to approve for the same reasons, but I still want to hold her accountable to her commitment to change, to take Luis Valencia off the paperwork. How do we do that?
You can deny it and ask them to reapply. I mean, their current application is not for a license that doesn't have them both as principals.
Right, so again, the application that's before you with both of them, I mean, we're basically then encouraging people to apply for licenses based on one set of facts and then asking the members to consider another set of facts based on a set of facts that we haven't verified yet.
Okay.
So again, I think that's why we should consider the application as it is. You know, if one person wants to apply for this license, they're certainly able to. But that's my perspective on it.
All right, and I'm going to vote to deny.
Chairman Bradley,
I'm going to vote to deny as well. I know the ALJ found public interest, but I find none. I've spent an enormous amount of time on Steinway Street this summer. I can tell you there are at least 10 licenses within walking distance that are doing exactly what this licensee would like to do. And both of them have significant adverse history with us. And I just see this as an additional problem for Steinway Street, which to me is saturated with these types of licenses.
Tom, can we just take a minute, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you. All right, thanks, Tom.
All right then, Chairman, you want to continue then? Or?
No, for that reason, I vote to deny.
Right, okay then. The next item is 889. It's a new on-premises liquor license application.
This is a bar tavern with 10 employees and no security, recorded and live music. Owners do have multiple active licenses, as well as a number of closed licenses or former licenses. The applicants have adverse history and 2 open EO violations at some of their other places. This is not a 500-foot case. The premises was previously licensed with no adverse history. And that's pretty much it.
All right then, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes, I'm gonna vote to approve as applied for. I'm just going to make 2 changes. One is security guard as needed and no promoter.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
The applicants, yeah, they do have some adverse history, but they have so many licenses. I just think the law of averages makes it possible to have a few violations. 22 licenses since 2001. There's no protest. The location is no adverse, so I'm going to vote to approve as well.
With the same condition, the security
con-
guard is needed?
Security guard is needed and no promoters.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll approve with the same conditions.
Next item is 890. It's a new on-premises liquor license. It was a 500-foot matter.
It's a restaurant with 5 employees and a hired manager, recorded and live music, no dancing or security guards. The max occupancy is 68 people. There will be 14 tables, and there will be one customer bar with 12 seats. The principal will also manage and has experience and 2 licenses, both of which have no adverse history. They have a sidewalk cafe with 14 seats. The hours are going to be 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. They did enter into stipulations with the Long Beach Community Association, although I did not see a signed copy of those stipulations yet. The owner actually owns the place.
It's in the supplemental, the last.
Yeah, I think we do have it.
Okay. The owner owns the restaurant next door, and he also lives above that restaurant. And there are 5 restaurants and 10 bars within 500 feet. The prior license here was canceled in November of 2019 and had a very bad adverse history.
All right then, with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes, with the 500-foot hearing finding public interest, I'm going to vote to approve adopting all the stipulations that the applicant agreed to with the West End Neighbors Civic Association of Long Beach. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
I'm going to vote to approve under the same conditions.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna approve with all the conditions from the stipulations with the community association.
Next item, 891, is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 892. It's a new package store application.
This is gonna be a package store with 2 employees, principal to manage. The principal has no experience. This place, there was another store in this plaza, but not at this exact location. This store is actually 3 times the size of the one that used to be in the plaza. So there was a previous license at the plaza. That store was removed in March of 2019, and it's still one of the 4 closest stores to this one. This store is going to be 2,000 square feet, 1,450 square feet retail. The closest store is 2.5 miles away. There are 5 stores within 5.1 miles. There are 3 protests. And it appears one of the stores was just approved by us in January of 2021, which is called Wine O'Clock. I don't know if that's one of the 4 closest, but it's
I don't believe it is.
it's not one of the 4 closest, but it's nearby on Blooming Grove Turnpike.
All right, then with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes, with the closest store 2.5 miles away, and essentially 4 of the 5 stores doing healthy growth in the past 5 years, and a lot of character witnesses for this particular applicant. I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
The closest stores all have sales that are going up. The store in Washingtonville is about 2.5 miles away, and it's the only shop in town. So this place is further east. I just think it would be serve public convenience and advantage for both Salisbury Mills and the Beaver Dam Lake area. And again, as Commissioner Fan noted, the letters of support from Charlene Singh Myers, ex-wife of the applicant, Andy Valez, Executive Director for Ops at Newburgh Enlarged City School District, and several other co-workers over the years are great character references. So I'm going to vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny. I'm familiar with that area, and we did. It might not be one of the 5 closest, but we did just put another store in January 2021 that, in a driving community, certainly will affect the demand for alcohol. So I'm going to vote. I don't see any public convenience and advantage in adding another one.
All right, then the next item is 893. It's a application for a new on-premises liquor license that was subject to the 500-foot law. I would note we did receive a request for an adjournment from the applicant's representative for 2 reasons. First, questions about the licensing history. You note it says the principal one of the principals had a prior canceled license, and second, because the applicant was not aware of the opposition. I would note that I checked quickly yesterday, and with respect to at least one of the cancellations, it appears that that principal was not on the license at the time of the cancellation. So I think that's what the representative wants to clear up.
Which one? Which license, Tom?
I went back and looked quickly. I think I only looked at 166 WP, which had been canceled.
Which is what's the name?
I just looked very quickly yesterday. So you have in there, it mentions 2, there's 2 canceled licenses that one the principal, Mr. Sullivan has.
Yeah, I'm asking you, which one does he say he was not part of?
No, not, he wasn't part of it. He had been removed as a principal before the cancellation.
That's what I'm
And I-
asking you. Which
Well,
one was
I-
he not on?
Well, what I said before was 166 WP. That's the one I checked quickly yesterday, and it appears that he had been
Can
removed.
someone tell me that TBS?
He had been removed as a principal prior to the cancellation. I did not check the other one to see if he'd been removed from that one prior to the cancellation.
Yeah,
So that's what they represent.
Because I know he was
Okay,
on Turtle
I'm
Bay.
okay with April 14. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. It'll give us a chance to look into that too.
Commissioner Ford, you okay with having it held over?
Yes.
Yeah.
414.
Chairman Bradley?
Yes.
Next item is 894. It's a new package store license application.
A package store with 2 employees. The manager will be hired. The principal actually lives in Ohio and will stay in Ohio. The owner also has no experience. They already hired a manager, and the manager's wife actually owns a liquor store as well as a grocery store. The grocery store does have some adverse history. The manager appears to be related to the owner as
The lender. Isn't the manager the lender?
No, the manager is related to the owner as an in-law.
Oh.
That's the way I read it. There are 5 protests. One is from the local state assemblywoman. She does not want another liquor store in this area, which she indicates it's a minority community and they have enough liquor stores and it does not serve the community's best interest to keep adding liquor stores. It's going to be 3,135 square feet. There are 1,750 square feet of it will be retail. There are 4 stores within 1.6 miles. 0.7 miles is the closest store. 3 of the 4 closest are bulletproof. This will not be bulletproof. And this location was not previously licensed. Do we know if someone else applied at this location previously? So one of the protesters indicated that, and I don't have any evidence of that.
Do a quick search for you. I don't have any indication that there was an application at this address, no.
That's it.
Are you still checking that, Adam, or are we ready to go?
Oh, no, the address, yeah, there was no other application that was applied for at this location.
All right, then. Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes. Given that the owner it's out of state and really does not plan to be active at the store and it's going to be managed by family members that have another store, is that right?
The
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Commissioner?
manager's wife has a store.
Yeah, so just to clarify, the applicant lives in Ohio and intends to hire a manager. The manager who lives in New York is funding the project. So Laxmi Ventures is actually a grocery store company that they hold in Ohio as well. But the manager listed as person's questionnaire that his wife, and we checked in, and his wife owns stores as well. But I mean, as far as from what we can tell on its face from the financing, that looks to be okay.
So basically, just to clarify for myself, the manager is funding the store for the owner.
and is going to work there, correct?
Right. The owner is out of state. All right.
That's correct.
I'm voting to deny. Thank you.
And
Commissioner Ford,
the financing is $40,000, I think, so I don't know. I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley,
I'm going to vote to deny, one, because the local state assemblywoman does not, she knows her community certainly better than most, and indicates that this would be bad for her community. And two, there's the intertwining of these relationships where the manager is actually funding the store of a owner who lives out of state, while the wife also owns a liquor store and also seems to own the company that's funding this store. Just seems too close to me to owning two liquor stores.
all right, then the next item is 895. This is a pleading default. I would note that I checked as of yesterday, the license has not been renewed.
I would be a cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond.
Chairman Bradley.
Cancel and bond.
Next items, 896 and 943. It's a CNC of cancellation and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond, accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 897. It's a $2,000 conditional offer.
2000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,000, accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 898. This is a request for reconsideration of a disapproval of a wine catering establishment license.
So we denied based on the history at the location, plus the lack of experience of the applicant. The method of operation indicated that there was a large risk of this place being open to the general public. She now indicates in the supplemental that she will only have private events. This recon is also significantly late. I believe it's several months late. Generally, we accept them 30 days after the written decision.
Yes, I'd also note that part of the reason for the denial was concerns about the applicant's experience, and the reconsideration purports to address that by saying that the applicant just generally says that she's organized events, she or he, I'm sorry, organized events without identifying in what context. Also, there's a claim that a manager will be hired, but no manager is identified in the reconsideration.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote on the reconsideration request?
I'm going to vote to deny reconsideration.
Commissioner Ford,
I'm going to vote to deny as well.
all right, and Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny. I mean, deny the reconsideration. I don't see anything new here that was not considered previously.
All right, the next item is 899. It's another request for reconsideration of a disapproval of an on-premises liquor license.
No, so this applicant is asking us to reconsider the denial. The applicant actually owned 50% of the prior license here that was canceled on charges, including one of which was an availing charge alleging that the license was being availed by him, plus some other serious charges. And he acknowledges that he tried to use the old license, but he indicates that he went up to our licensing window, and someone at our licensing window told him that he could use the old license in July of 2020. Were our windows even open in July of 2020? Because of
I
COVID?
don't believe at that time, no, we had not reopened them.
So I don't know who he talked to or what floor he was on, but I don't think he knocked on our windows in New York.
Right, and the issue here was that he and his partner were the licensees when there were significant problems in this location. He claims they were all the problem, they were all caused by his partner, and that he was going to leave his partner behind. But he applied for, he applied for a new license and was operating at this location using the old license, right? While he had an application pending. It's not as if he didn't know he didn't need a new license, which is, I think, why this was disapproved the last time.
Was he using the old one or was he using a new temp?
10.
No, he was open and operating at a point at which it's not consistent. Do you have a date on when he applied for the license
For this one?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was April of 2020.
April 8th.
and he didn't surrender the old one until July of 2020. I mean, if he thought he could use the old license, why would he have applied for a new one if that's what he had been really been told?
He says he went to our offices in March, which the window wasn't open again then, and then again in July to ask if he could use the license, and he said in July that we told him he could. Just to be clear, our licensing people at the windows don't answer those questions. They're correct, Adam? They're trained not to.
Yeah, we generally don't give that kind of advice to Windows. It's more for processing.
All right then, so with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote on the request for reconsideration?
And just for the record, Commissioner Ford, they did apply for a temporary retail permit in September of 2020, but we had disapproved it based on the previous licensing history that he was a part of at the location.
All right, thank you.
All right then, Commissioner Fan,
I do realize there are a lot of problems here and the history is not on the side of this applicant. However, the 500-foot hearing came out in support of him. Public interest was determined by the ALJ. And now we have a letter of support from the community board. And since I've never met this applicant and community board members have, I'm gonna only rely on the good judgment on the people that serve on the community board. And trust that they want this business in their community. And with that, I'm going to vote to approve. I will do,
I saw Commissioner Fan, just, so you're voting to grant reconsideration then?
yes, I'm going to grant
Right.
reconsideration.
All right, let's take that,
You do
well,
that
let's
first.
take that
All
step
right.
first.
You can do that first, go ahead.
Commissioner Ford,
Yes, I'll vote to reconsider as well.
Chairman Bradley.
No, I'm not voting to reconsider.
All right then, on the application itself, Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna vote to approve, 2 AM across the board, recorded music only. No promoters, security guards, manager is needed.
all right, Commissioner Ford,
Based on the support they received from the ALJ, public interest support from the ALJ and community board support, and I'll add into that the supplemental letter of explanation of their deteriorated relationship with a former partner here. Sounds like quite a saga, but I'll go with the 2 AM. And what was the other condition, Commissioner Fan, you said?
it's a recorded background music only, no promoters, and manage and security guards as needed.
With those same steps as well, yes.
All right then. Chairman Bradley,
I'm gonna vote to deny. He's a latent availer, and the only reason he stopped availing was because he got caught. And I also don't find, I disagree once again with the ALJ, how they found public interest when there are 10 other licenses within 500 feet with this type of history at this location is beyond me.
All right, then the next item is 900. It's a conditional offer of $25,000. The license was summarily suspended on March 10th. Commissioner Fan?
While these charges were serious, this licensee has been in business almost 20 years with no adverse history. I would be willing to take this down to 15,000.
Commissioner Fan, just for the record, the license was issued September 27th, 2012.
That's
Oh,
20
sorry,
years.
I misread it. Sorry, I meant, yeah, sorry. I meant 11 years. I'm 15,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to accept the 25,000 because previous warnings that were delivered to him personally, he didn't take seriously. So I'm going to accept.
Chairman Bradley?
Accept.
Next item is 901. This is a request for reconsideration of a disapproval of a request to change the method of operation.
The full board denied this application. It was denied because of violations with the prior licensee, which was the owner's wife. We put restrictions on the original license because of it. They're asking for a change in, or we put restrictions on this license because of the prior violations. They're asking for a change in a method of operation. They want later closing time and a DJ. They currently have unresolved EO violations as well as noise violations.
Yes, and the claim in the reconsideration is that they should not, that the board should essentially overlook the conduct that's currently pending with the charges because other cases have been treated less severely. And then the licensee cites 2 other cases in which those licensees were actually treated more severely. His generalized basis for reconsideration is that his conduct wasn't as bad as the board thinks it is, and therefore he should be entitled to hours and music changes that were denied to him previously.
All right, so with that, Commissioner Fan on the request for reconsideration.
I vote no.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote no as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm voting no as well. I mean, it's pretty obvious what the activity was that caused us to deny this license.
All right, then the next item is 902. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll set 1,500.
Commissioner Ford?
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley?
Accept.
903 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I'll go to 1,000 as well. Adam, is this license still in safekeeping? So they're closed right now?
I can do a quick check for you, one moment.
It says on January 21st. Because the sole principal passed away.
Yes, it looks like it's still in safekeeping per council's request.
So it sounds
Council's
like
office request.
they can't take it out until there's some type of corporate change. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, the corporate application was filed recently, so that's pending, but we would certainly work with council's office to make sure that that corporate change was approved before the
Okay.
license were to be removed from safekeeping.
We
All right.
actually have to make in these cases, if anybody's listening, we have to make sure that the person who's applying for the corporate change actually has authority to do so on behalf of the decedent, if the sole principal here is deceased. So that seems to be coming up time and time again.
All right, 1,000.
Chairman Bradley.
1,000.
Next items 904 and 941. It's a $3,000 conditional offer.
So this is 3 dates with indoor service, so I'm at 7,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, they don't have any prior history with us, so I would counter offer at 5.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept 5,000.
Well, it's a counter.
Counter.
All right, the next item is 905. It's a $2,000 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I'll go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Uh, uh, I'll go to 1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
1,500.
I'm going to suggest we take our 15-minute break now and come back at 12:10 if that's all right with everybody.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, okay.
Hey, Tom. My C drive folder is having a problem loading.
Okay,
So
Commissioner
I
Fan,
have the,
Commissioner Fan, hold on just for a second. What, because we're live, so to speak. So why don't you,
I just need the second matter.
don't worry about it. It's been removed from the calendar.
Oh,
The
great.
second,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes, the first one I reviewed already.
Right,
Thank you.
the item, 9710
Yes.
was put on, but now we've been advised it's not going to be considered today.
Okay, great. All right, that
All right,
works.
so-
Thank you.
You're having
That's-
trouble with your drive, you said?
It's not opening for some reason.
All right, let's address that after the meeting then, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, are we ready to resume? All right then. The next item on the calendar is 906. It's a $1,500 CNC. Commissioner Fan? Oh. Commissioner Fan?
I'll accept. I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford?
Accept.
Chairman Bradley?
Except,
Next item 907. It's a conditional offer of $1,500.
I will cancel and bond.
As a counter offer?
It's surrendered, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say if
Or you
you,
want me to just take it?
no, it doesn't matter. If they don't, if you accept the offer and when the deferral ends, they don't pay, it's gonna wind up getting canceled anyway.
Okay. Then I'll just accept it, maybe the
Alright.
easiest thing.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley,
Accept.
next item is 908. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley,
Accept.
909. It's a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley,
Accept.
910. It's a $4,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I will accept 4,500.
Commissioner Ford,
4,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley,
Accept.
911. A $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley,
Accept.
912. A $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I will go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, since 1993, I'll go to 1,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley,
$1,000.
913. A $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll take 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Since 2009, with absolutely no history whatsoever, I'll do 1,000 as well.
but Commissioner Fan said 1,500.
Oh, did
Right.
she?
Yeah, she was accepting the offer. I mean, you go down to, if you want 1,000, we can do it.
Yeah, I'm still going to do 1,000.
Okay. Chairman Bradley,
1,500.
next item is 914, excuse me, $1,500 conditional offer.
This I will go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Give me 1 second here. 914, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, I'll do 1,000 on this one.
Does somebody have another device running besides what they're on? Just make sure we're not getting any, I got some feedback just now. Okay. Chairman Bradley,
I'll accept.
915. It's a request to extend the deadline for conditional approval.
So the conditional approval was issued 10/29/2019. 18th month expired on April 20, or will expire on April 29th, 2021. They want an extension to October 10th of 2000. I'm sorry, October 29th of 2021. They acknowledge that they could open. And I don't foresee why they shouldn't be open. Indoor dining is 50% in New York City right now, but they're asking for an additional 6 months.
All right then, Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna go to October 29, 2021.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll go to October 21 as well.
Chairman Bradley,
I'm denying the request. That's not to me a legitimate reason to not open.
All right then.
You know
Next-
something, I'm gonna change my vote too. I'm gonna vote to deny as well. I agree with, Chairman Bradley. That's not a reason for us to deny, to accept.
Okay, next item, 916. It's another request to extend the deadline for conditional approval.
The conditional approval was granted in September of 2019. The 18-month extension expired in March 4th of 2021. They want 6 more months to 9/14/2021. I don't believe that there is a reason given, is there? Or am I missing that?
They need a letter of no objection.
It looks like they're waiting, yeah, correct. It looks like they're waiting on an LNO.
For 3 years, 2 years. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Commissioner Fan. I'm sure you're muted, Commissioner Fan.
I'm gonna go to 9/4/2021.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll agree to that as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I will agree to it as well.
Next item, 917. It's a request to extend the deadline for conditional approval.
This conditional approval was granted in September of 2019. March of 26th of 2021, the 18 months expires. They want to go to June 14th of 2021. They say they're meeting conditions. I mean, they're experiencing delays meeting conditions. However, in March of 2020, the only condition that they needed to meet was to provide us with an insurance carrier. That was a year ago. Everything else at that time they indicated was done.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna go to 9/26/2021.
until 9, you said?
9/26/2021.
Okay. Commissioner Ford,
I'll go to 9/21 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm denying the request. It shouldn't take a year to get an insurance carrier.
All right, the next item, 918. This is a CNC of $5,000.
I'll accept 5,000.
Commissioner Ford,
5,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Set.
Next item is, on items 919, 920. This is a $1,500 conditional offer. I would just note that the license has been renewed through 2023. Commissioner Fan, you're muted there, Commissioner Fan.
Sorry, this is 2 dates, 5 charges. I'm gonna counter at 3,000.
Commissioner Ford,
That's exactly where I was too, 3,000.
Chairman Bradley.
3,000.
Next item, 921. It's a conditional offer of $1,500. Commissioner Fan,
I'll accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Set.
Next item is 922. It's a conditional offer of $30,000 for a license that's been summarily suspended since January 10th. I would note that the license did expire on January 31st and has not been renewed. Commissioner Fan, you're muted, Commissioner Fan.
Sorry. This was a summary suspension. But the charges are on the less egregious side. I'll be willing to lower this to 20,000 from 30.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, and the current owner wasn't the owner during the most egregious part of the history here of this place, so I'll go to 20,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll do the same.
next item is 923. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll go to 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll go to 1,000.
Chairman Bradley,
Yeah, the licensee's been licensed since 1985. I'll lower to 1,000.
924. It's a no contest plea.
I'm at 2,000.
2,000. Commissioner Ford,
I'll do 2,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll do 2,000.
Next item is 925. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
I'll accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley. Next item is 926. It's a request for reconsideration of a disapproval of a package store license.
This is a recon. We found no public convenience and advantage previously. There are now, the only addition, it appears, is that there are now 2 letters, one from a policeman or police chief and another from a local elected, that indicates that putting this store there would stop or at least decrease the amount of illegal U-turns on Tarrytown Road. I think this issue was already raised initially, but they are trying to reinforce that. Other than that, I don't believe anything new was submitted.
All right, with that, on the reconsideration request, Commissioner Fan,
I vote no on reconsideration.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote no on reconsideration.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I'm going to vote no on reconsideration as well. This is actually a first for me, that putting in a package store would actually increase traffic safety.
All right, the next item is 927. This is a request for reconsideration by a landlord to lift a prescription that you imposed last June. Commissioner Fan on the reconsideration request?
Yes, I will vote to reconsider.
Okay. Commissioner Ford,
I'll vote to reconsider as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to reconsider as well.
All right, on removing the prescription then.
Can I just state on the record what happened here? So this is a Besem Kukac location. Los Lizardos was the licensee, and the landlord entered into a lease with Besem Kukac while Los Lizardos was not there. It's unclear how much the landlord knew about the licensing situation, but it was Kukac who then, it was Los Lizardos that then presented a doctored lease to the authority to keep the license there going for an obvious availer. That is what led to these, to the charges and to the discipline.
All right, then, on Commissioner Fan on whether or not to lift the prescription.
Yes, I will vote to lift the prescription. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford,
I would vote yes to lift the prescription.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to lift this prescription as well.
Next item is 928. It's an application to change the method of operation.
Change in method of operation, bar and tavern, 5 to 7 employees, 5 guards, 5 security guards. Principal will serve as manager, recorded music, DJ, karaoke, no live music, dancing, or promoters. The community board does not appear to have any opinion on this change. Currently, the licensee has 2 a.m. They want 4 a.m. every night. We restricted this license in 2018 to no live music or dancing, no promoters, 2 a.m. clothes, and 5 security guards. The principal is licensed at 4 other locations, all with adverse history. The last 2 licenses at this location had bad history. One was summaried and both were canceled.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan.
I'm gonna vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
This is 928, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
So he wants to go to 4 a.m. He's told to come back in 6 months. It's been a lot longer than that. He's been adverse free, I think. There's no protest. There's a letter of support from for new hours from Senator James Saunders Jr. So I'm going to vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
Adam, can you is there anything pending on this place?
We have numerous complaints, about 11 complaints from July of last year till March.
But nothing.
Two police referrals, but nothing that's been adjudicated or investigated yet.
Okay.
Say that.
Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
So I'm going to vote to deny. I know we told them to come back, but we've restricted this location for a reason because of the adverse history as well as the principal's adverse history at their other locations. And at this time, I'm not ready to go to 4 o'clock.
But then the next item is 929. It's a new on-premises liquor license application that was subject to the 500-foot law.
The tavern with 6 to 8 employees, 1 security guard on Thursday nights through Saturday nights. The principal is to manage and hire a manager. There's recorded music and a jukebox. Max occupancy 74 people. They have seats at the bar for 21. They have stipulations with the community board, and the community board protests unless those stipulations are made conditions. The principals have another license with pending violation, and they also have another that also had EO violations that were settled with us. Other than that, they actually do have very little adverse history. This is the same method of operation as a license that was previously there that did not have any history. And there is a city councilman that supports granting this license. There are 9 licenses within 500 feet.
I think we do have the applicant agreeing to the stipulations, right? Was that in the supplemental? I have a note.
Yes.
And the stipulations are close at 4, keep windows closed at all times, no outside areas, doors will be closed by 10, no pub crawls, happy hour ends at 8, and they're not allowed to have lines outside the bar.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Just with the East Building.
Yes, with the 500-foot hearing, finding public interest and a support letter from Councilmember Powers. I will vote to approve adopting all the stipulations that the applicant agreed to with Community Board 3.
Okay. Commissioner Ford,
Same here.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll vote to approve with all the stipulations.
next item is 9:30. It's a new on-premises wine application.
This is a new restaurant wine with 6 employees, principal to manage, recorded music, no dancing, no private events. Max occupancy is 150, table seating for 28 with 8 seats at the bar. There's no protests. They need a restroom waiver because they only have 1 restroom and they have an occupancy greater than 74.
See, this is the interesting thing. Now they're trying to tell us that their maximum occupancy is 150, and really there are only 36 seats.
Not only that, if you look at the diagram, it doesn't look like 150 could ever fit in the place. Or the pictures.
But then they want the bathroom waiver because somehow the occupancy is not more than 74. I find that to be confusing here. So do they want to clear this up or what?
How come it?
I'm confused.
Adam, do we have the certificate of occupancy or do they not get it yet?
Let me take a look for you.
And we've got it.
What's it say?
I'm looking now. No, it's for this space, the occupancy is 150 based on the size of it.
Okay.
So they're only using.
How do we reconcile those things?
Well, I wonder what the occupancy of it was before. Was this place prior licensed? Yeah.
This is previously licensed? Yes.
Adam was.
I don't show anything else at the address. Let me make sure.
I don't see
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't look like the address is previously licensed.
Okay. I don't know.
Alright.
For one bathroom for 150 people.
But it's not, yeah, but that's a problem. But they are also asking for a bathroom waiver, saying that their public assembly is not more than 74. So
Yeah. Can we send this back to licensing for them to have a conversation with him about this? Because this is, I mean, which is it?
yeah, exactly. I think we need one or the other.
Just for clarification, it's a concern that because there is not enough seats to match the occupancy, that the real question is whether or not one bathroom is sufficient based on the occupancy, or if one bathroom is sufficient based on the amount of seating.
It's really not that. It's I would rather not move forward approving an application that has 150 bodies when we know that it can't fit 150, and then we have that as the occupancy, just knowing what we know now about enforcement and stuff like that.
We do that all the time with 74 though, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of times we've had 74 max occupancy, but they only have 25 seats.
Right, because if people stand
So
in bars.
I would be okay. Should we just then agree that it's not 150 but it's 74? I'm okay with that. But I don't want to change the application. It's my application.
Now, I'm not understanding this. They're acknowledging the waivers required because the occupancy is greater than 74. That's why they're asking for the waiver. They're not saying their occupancy is 74. They're acknowledging it's greater than that.
That's
I
correct.
think,
The
Commissioner
establishment-
Fan, you're concerned about how many people are going to be in there, right? And whether or not we want to limit the occupancy?
Right.
I mean, you could do that. You could condition the approval on, a lower occupancy.
Yeah, if you're uncomfortable with the amount of people that they could put in there with one bathroom, then we can certainly put the occupancy on whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. I'll
And
just
I'll
do
go
something
along,
for-
I'll
Yeah.
go along with that. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, then I'll just vote to approve 11 p.m. recorded music only, and occupancy is 74. The bathroom waiver is okay if they need it.
All right, Commissioner Ford,
I'll approve on the same conditions.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll approve on the same conditions as well.
next item is 931. This is a application for a grocery store beer and wine products license.
This is going to be a store with 3 employees, principal to manage, and they will also employ a manager. We did a summary on the previous licensee here and revoked the license with a 2-year prescription on the location. The prescription expired in July of 2019. The reason we did a summary was because the former owners, apparently there was a sexual assault inside the previous licensed liquor store. It does not appear that this applicant, at least to me, is connected to that licensee at all.
All right then, Commissioner Fan,
I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve.
Next item is 932. It's a new package store license application.
Package store with 3 employees, principal to manage. Principal has no experience. The applicant says he has. I didn't understand this. Adam, clarify this for me. The applicant indicates he has a $200,000 credit with distributors. What does that mean?
932.
Yeah.
Chad Thomas Smith.
Yeah. The store is going to be 3,500 square feet. 3,000 of that will be retail. The closest store is 1.2 miles away. There are 5 stores within 4.5 miles. There are 2 objections. The location was previously licensed from 2010 to 2012 as a package store. And there are apparently 8 stores within a 3-mile radius. Another interesting point is that a friend who was actually on the license initially or on the application initially and no longer is, gifted the principal $29,000, which is what the cash investment in this store is. And it's clearly indicated that that is not a loan.
Are we ready to vote then? Commissioner
One-
Fan?
One of the.
I just want Adam to find out. I want to see if Adam can answer that question for me first.
What was your question you're asking him to answer?
Well, they indicated that they have, it's in the supplemental, and they said distributor credit. We have over 200,000 in credit from Empire Southern and others, and I don't know what that means. Does that mean they have a
Well,
credit line?
Then what happens is to be able to purchase on credit, many wholesalers actually require you to fill out like a credit application. And then they will extend credit, pursuant to the terms of credit provisions up to a certain amount. After
Okay.
that, it's COD.
Well, that must.
They don't have a
that-
store
that-
yet.
that
But
must
he
be what
may have,
they did.
he may have already gone to them to find out, how much he could buy on credit rather than with COD.
Right, so I mean, that credit's not part of the financial disclosure, part of the application. So if they're indicating that they have credit to buy from wholesalers, they may be providing that information for other purposes.
Yeah, I'm not insinuating it should be. I just found it strange. I guess it was to try to boost his own credibility as an owner. He's got good credit. All right.
All right, so then with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Yes. Given multiple protests from neighboring stores, and I'm not really seeing enough growth in the neighboring markets, I don't see public convenience. I'm gonna vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
The closest store, which is just down the street, 1.2 miles on the north side of Central Ave. This Central Ave is Route 5. It's a super busy corridor. It's right near Colony Center Mall, intersection of I-87 Northway and Route 5 Central Ave. The two closest, besides that one store just on the other side of 87, there's two other stores in the same shopping plaza, more or less. It's a Lowe's. They did not send, two of the three closest did not send gross sales letter. But the one closest and the one furthest away, their sales are going up slightly. The one that did report kind of staying steady. I guess what I'm going to do is probably vote to, I'm going to vote to deny this. I just think that there might be enough package stores along that strip, even as busy as it is, even though it's on the other side of the highway. I still think that there's enough there for now. And I don't really see a demand for more, so I'm going to vote to deny.
Chairman Bradley,
I vote to deny as well. I don't see the growth in sales that would indicate that there is a demand. And I got to be honest that this $29,000 gift bothers me because the initial application had it down as a loan that was going to be repaid as an interest in the store. And once they were called on that, it suddenly became a gift. So I wish my friends would drop me off $29,000 gifts so I could open businesses. But for those reasons, I don't find any public convenience and advantage. And I question whether there's going to be outside interest in this.
but then next item 933. It's a new on-premises liquor license application subject to the 500-foot law.
This is going to be a bar tavern with 5 employees, 1 to 2 security guards as needed. Principals will manage, and they will close for private events occasionally. They want live recorded DJ, jukebox, and karaoke. Max occupancy is 45 people. They have seats at tables for 32. They have 8 seats at the bar. The premise was previously licensed as a grocery store. There's no protest. There are 3 other licenses within 500 feet. The ALJ said no public interest, but solely because the public interest statement was found not adequate by the representative. And I found it not adequate by the representative as well. They want hours Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 11, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 1. And my question to Adam, they did not answer about whether they have an outdoor area on the application. Do we know if they do or don't, or do we just assume that's a no if they don't answer it?
I can check the establishment questionnaire. We can always confirm with them prior to issuing
I'm
any
just gonna say
license,
no.
or we can just say no outdoor space.
Yeah, okay.
There's nothing shown on the diagram.
All right.
If they're planning on it, they'll certainly come back if you prove it.
All right, Tom, we're ready.
All right then, Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna vote to approve. With the following conditions, Sunday to Thursday, 11 p.m., Friday, Saturday, 1 a.m. No promoters, no dancing, live recorded music only.
What kind of music did you say? No promoters, no dancing.
Live and recorded music. I'm not sure
Okay.
about the DJs. I'm really not sure about the DJs.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford, you decide.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
good with, you're good with all the music in with a live recorded DJ,
Sure.
jukebox and karaoke?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anything else, Commissioner Fan? Commissioner Ford?
Nope, I'm good.
So you're approving with the times indicated by Commissioner Fan, and then everything else is the same as presented.
Carbon copy to Commissioner Fan.
Okay. Chairman Bradley,
I am going to vote to approve on the same basis. I do want to add one thing here, though, that the representative, in trying to explain his inadequacies in the public interest statement, makes some completely incorrect assumptions and basically puts it on us or the ALJ that they should be looking up his client's experience simply because he put a license serial number on the public interest statement. So therefore, the ALJ should look at that license up on the computer database and figure out what kind of experience his applicant has. And then he also makes the assumption that the ALJ has access to the entire application file in which he does the 500-foot hearing. I want to point out to all reps, including this rep, that that's absolutely incorrect. The ALJs do not have access to the entire application file. That's why we need the public interest statement. When you don't fill it out properly or adequately, you're only hurting your client as well as the time that your application is going to take to get reviewed.
and Chairman, I'll just say that actually the notice that goes to the applicant says what you just said, that they don't have access to anything else but the first or questionnaire.
Then perhaps this representative should start reading his mail.
All right, then the next item, 934, the $8,000 CNC.
I accept 8,000.
I'm sorry, what was that, Commissioner Fan?
I said I accept 8,000.
All right, Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept 8,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 935, a $1,500 conditional offer.
I accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 936. This is a $5,000 conditional offer.
I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next items 937, 938, 939. This is a $10,000 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
This is the third, the fourth, the second, the third, and the fourth offense, and this licensee submitted a one-sentence letter. But this is not a suspension, right?
No.
All right, I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Only because they've been in business since 1997, and they really don't have too much of an adverse history. Even though this is for 3 days, I will accept the 10,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll accept.
940, it's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
942, it's a $5,000 conditional offer.
5,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
5,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
944. This is a $5,000 conditional offer.
5,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
5,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
945, this is a request for reconsideration. You had previously rejected the offer of 15,000, had a counter offer cancellation of bond claim, rejected a subsequent request of 25,000. Now the licensee is proposing 38,750 and monitoring by the Sheriff's Department. The license has been summarily suspended since October 21st.
And it's. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say for the record, the reason that there was an issue with this place is because the owners, although they have been in business for a long time, essentially admitted that the reason they violated the executive orders was because an important rabbi told them that they had to host these parties. And the concern is that they will continue to listen to other sources for their legal obligations and not follow the law. So now they've said that in this reconsideration, that the board should trust them because the sheriff will be monitoring the place more.
No, they're actually asking us to have the sheriff monitor them, which is offensive
right.
to me.
Well, right.
Like we're supposed to now have the law enforcement come and police your establishments.
Right. They are also increasing the fine amount, but I guess just for the record, that remains an issue as to whether or not the licensee can be trusted to follow the law going forward, given their admitted reason for breaking it that led to the suspension in the first place.
Oh, and let's recall that there were indoor parties going on, eating, drinking, dancing, no masks, no social distancing by anyone during a wedding reception. The front doors were locked. There wasn't any way, shape, or form this can be deemed anything but egregious, whether the rabbi told you to do it or not. This is when no indoor dining was allowed. They're having a full-blown party.
Actually, I think that there may have been indoor dining permitted, but they were way over the limit.
I don't think it was.
October 2020.
Well, it wouldn't change my vote anyway. Okay, go ahead.
All right, with that, just on the reconsideration, Commissioner Fan.
I'll vote yes to reconsider.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll vote yes to reconsider as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm voting no. I don't see anything new here.
All right, then, upon reconsideration,
Yeah, just to clarify for the record, that conduct was egregious, but not because they violated the inside service rule. It was that they had weddings with more than 50 people, violating all sorts of other social distancing requirements, crammed in there, and the doors were locked.
All right, then, with reconsideration granted on whether or not to change, you're gonna change the counteroffer, Commissioner Fan?
Well, I agree with Chairman that, and Council, that this licensee really dismissed warnings, defied law by hosting the wedding, and now have gone through the trouble of creating essentially their own enforcement process, which is offensive. I, however, accept that this licensed premise is a culturally significant location and perhaps a necessity for the community. And I really don't want to take away that from the community during this pandemic, so I'll be willing to return this license for 40,000.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
To be honest, I was thinking along the same lines, Commissioner Fan, that I wasn't going to quite accept what they offered. And I don't want us or anybody else to have to be responsible to be their parents. You know, it's on them, not on anybody else to run your place in accordance with the law. So I was actually at 45,000, and don't worry about the police, just run your business correctly. And when we come by and inspect it, we expect to see it being run correctly, properly, and legally. So would you do 45,000?
Yes, I'll do 45,000.
All right, Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I'm voting cancel and bond. I don't. We've fined people 50 and 60,000 that have done less than this. This was an intentional risk to the public health, safety, and welfare.
I know.
All right, then, next item is 946. It's another request for reconsideration. You had rejected a $25,000 CNC, came back with cancellation of bond claim. License been summarily suspended since September 2nd.
Sorry, what
Yeah,
number are you on?
This is 946.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
sorry.
for the record, so in this request for reconsideration, the owner of this location is now saying in March 2021 that while he was out of state, his manager opened this location without his knowledge, and that's why all of these illegal events took place that led to the suspension. And with that new information, the board should reconsider rejecting his $25,000 offer and counter and cancel and bond back in November. I took a look back at the initial CNC that was submitted, presumably by the same individual, who does not claim that the place was opened without his knowledge in his earlier statement to the members. And I find it odd that somebody who truly had their manager open up their location because they had the keys but didn't know would offer $25,000 to settle charges without mentioning that the first time, which certainly puts the current statement in some level of question.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, on whether to reconsider the counteroffer.
I vote no on reconsideration.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote no on reconsideration as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Vote no.
Your next item, 947. This is a proposed changes to the existing brand label advisory.
Members, so before you is an advisory to update and clarify previous advisory 2016-3. Since that time, we've gone to a 3-year brand label renewal registration period. So the advisory incorporates the dates for each type of registration, when it's due, the duration of that. It also clarifies that no refunds are given on brand labels. There's nothing in the statute that provides for a refund if there's a change in ownership or a cancellation or surrender of a brand label. And it also, based on our current environment and the amount of volume of requests that we're seeing for information on non-malt beverage or hard kombuchas or hard ciders or seltzers, the advisory also incorporates some guidance on what the authority expects to receive for the registration process for non-malt beverages. And that is what's before you now.
Are there any questions from the members?
No.
All right, with that, I'll turn first to Commissioner Fan.
I will vote to approve as drafted. Thank you, Adam.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, I vote to approve as drafted as well, too. Thank you.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve.
Thank you.
All right, next item, 948. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 949, $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
950 is a $2,000 conditional offer.
2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 951. This is a new package store license. It was held over from the last meeting regarding some issues regarding the 200-foot law.
Yeah, members, I'm going to ask that this package store be returned to licensing for a decision. We were able to confirm through a church
Can't we
letter
just do it
reaching
here?
out. that
Why can't we
it's-
just do it here?
We could.
You can,
I mean, does anybody not agree that this is within 200 feet of a church?
Certainly appears that way.
yeah, and we have a representation from the church that there is no other use in the building. There is I guess what would be an apartment above, but the church says that it is used by church employees for church purposes only. So
So legally, we can't put a license here.
based on this information, if for some reason the applicant believes that is incorrect, they can certainly seek a declaratory ruling or to challenge it or come back to us. But based on this information, I do not think you could put a license in.
All right, I vote to deny.
I vote to deny as well.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to deny as well.
the next item is 952. This was also held over from the last board meeting. It's a new on-premises liquor license application.
I don't need to go through this again, Adam. Why don't you just go through the further info we got?
So this item was held over so we can confirm that a letter that we received from the local police department was valid. Our enforcement bureau did reach out and in fact confirm that the letter in opposition that we received from the police department is authentic.
Okay, Tom.
All right then, Commissioner Fan,
In which case I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
This is 952, correct?
yes.
Yes.
And that was the one we had the letter that from the police department that we weren't quite sure who it was. I remember this one, yes. In that case, I vote to deny as well.
Apparently that letter is authentic.
Yes, apparently it is. Just if it had a printed name on it, but whatever.
That's your vote to deny, Commissioner Ford?
Yes,
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this matter was carried over from 3/17/2021 board meeting at the request of the board for more information regarding the letter from the police department, which was objecting to putting this license here. I'm gonna vote to deny as well, one, because of the letter and protest from the police department indicating that they have concerns about the safety and activities that would occur at the bar, and two, there's other letters indicating that perhaps the applicant isn't the true owner of the bar, which I found persuasive because the husband of the applicant is on Facebook, as well as one of his friends is also on Facebook promoting the bar and also offering people to send them resumes if they're looking for a job at the bar. And he references the bar as ours and we, and he's not on the application, and there's no explanation as to why he's not on the application, but it's clear that he's holding himself out as an owner.
Yeah, and for the record on this case is both what the board said today and also the discussion on the 17th under case 2021-00711. For the record.
All right, then. The next item is 953. This matter is also held over from the last meeting. It's a new on-premises liquor license subject to the 500-foot law.
It's a restaurant with 12 to 14 employees, no securities, principals to manage, recorded music only, no private events, max occupancy 74. They have 24 tables for 60 people, 9 at the bar. The principals do have some experience. There's no protest. The prior license here was revoked in 2019. It was a Kukaj license, which we're all familiar with, and had a big adverse history as well as a Vailings. The community board, even though they did not protest and they do have agreed upon stipulations, does have some concerns. They have indicated to us that the place was operating contrary to their method of operation during COVID. They have apparently split the place into two during COVID. Two different types of premises. It looks like one was a takeout and the other was a wine bar. The applicant has explained themselves to the community board and admitted to doing this, but indicated it was solely because of the situation all licensees in New York City were put into as a result of COVID, and that their intention is to have one license. The CB stipulations are 12 a.m. Monday through Thursday, closing 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday, and closing 1 a.m. Sunday. The doors and windows will close at 10 Sunday through Thursday and 11 Friday and Saturday. After the explanation, it appears that the community board is satisfied with the explanation, and the name has been changed back to the DBA that they agreed upon originally. The ALJ did say no public interest because of the activities of splitting the location. However, as I said, that location has gone back.
Yeah, and just for the record, we held this over because their explanation, which the community board accepted, was that they were just having small private parties without alcohol, with paper on the windows. And it really was not consistent with also rebranding the place to be a wine bar with a new sign and a different name. So we asked them to explain that, and they haven't really explained it. So, with that said, the community board did accept it, and these guys have operated other locations without significant issues before. So, Tom?
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, you ready to vote?
Yes, I'm going to vote to approve adopting all of Manhattan CB4's stipulations.
Commissioner Ford,
I'm going to vote to approve as well, adopting all of the Manhattan Community Board's stipulations.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll vote to approve on with the stipulations.
next item is 954. This is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll accept.
955. It's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
956, a $3,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I'll accept 3,500.
Commissioner Ford,
3,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
It's all one date, right? All right, so I'll accept.
957, it's a $4,000 conditional offer.
4,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
4,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
958, it's a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
959, a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
960, $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
961, a $2,500 conditional offer.
2,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
962 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
963 is a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan,
I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
964, it's a $1,500 conditional offer.
Accept.
Commissioner Ford,
I accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
965 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I accept.
Commissioner Ford,
I accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
966 is a $1,500 conditional offer. Commissioner Fan, when you're ready.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
967 and 968 is a $6,500 conditional offer.
I'll accept 6,500.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept it as well. 6,500.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
969 is a $1,500 conditional offer.
I accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
970 is a $3,000 conditional offer. And just so you know, the license has been renewed into 2023.
I will accept 3,000.
Commissioner Ford,
3,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
971 is a conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
971A, B, and C is a conditional offer of $45,000. The license has been summarily suspended under one of those matters since January 6th of this year. All right, Commissioner Fan,
I will accept 45,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Um, I'll accept 40,000.
Chairman Bradley.
Provoke and bond.
Next item is 971D. The conditional offer of $20,000. This license has been summarily suspended since March 10th. Commissioner Fan, when you're ready.
I'm gonna accept 20,000.
Commissioner Ford.
Uh, I'll accept 20,000.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item is 971E and F. This is a $10,000 conditional offer. The license was summarily suspended with respect to one of these proceedings on March 10th. Commissioner Fan, when you're ready to vote.
I'm gonna counter at 15,000.
Commissioner Ford.
What'd you say, 15,000, Commissioner Fan?
Yes.
I'll go with that.
Chairman Bradley.
I counter at 25.
The next item, 971G, is a $20,000 conditional offer. The license was summarily suspended on March 7th of this year.
I'll accept 20,000.
Commissioner Ford.
20,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 971H and I. This is a $15,000 conditional offer. License was summarily suspended on the 19th of March.
I'll accept 15,000.
Commissioner Ford.
Give me just a second just to look at something here. I'll accept the 15,000.
Chairman Bradley.
So I looked at this a couple times because the lawyer, to me, tried to minimize the licensee's conduct. And initially I thought he actually may have a point. However, what ended up working against him is the fact that our investigators visited on 3 separate dates, found violations on all 3 separate dates, and on 2 of those dates found multiple violations. But I still was interested in giving them the benefit of the doubt until I then saw letters and pictures coming from the citizens of Astoria that backed up every one of their complaints and supported their arguments that this place was a menace to the neighborhood, basically blowing the lawyer's letter out of the water. So I'm at 25,000.
I'll go with you, Chairman. I thought those letters were pretty harsh as well, so I'll go to 25,000.
All right, I'll go to 25, Tom.
Okay. All right. Next, we have 971J and K. This is a offer of cancellation and bond claim. The license was summarily suspended back in January.
Cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford.
Cancel and bond.
Chairman Bradley.
Cancel and bond.
All right, the next is 971L. This is a $10,000 conditional offer. The license was summarily suspended on March 14th. Commissioner Fan, when you're ready.
Before we vote, can they indicate that there's another pending matter? Is there a reason we can't bring all this
Where is
together
this?
today to
I
get rid
missed
of it?
this. I missed it.
It's 971L.
There's another
Pending matter.
open case?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
There is
Go mute.
there is a matter that's pending. The pleading went out February 25th. Not guilty plea has been entered by the licensee.
All right, I was under the impression we were holding up that other matter. It's obvious that they are pleading not guilty and not interested in settling it, so, so that can stay, I guess. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, ordinarily, we would want a CNC for all pending matters. And if they weren't willing to address another pending matter, we would probably say, okay, well then let's go to hearing on that first. But because this is a suspension case, we do need to address it promptly. So we should consider the CNC on the suspension case.
Okay.
All right, Commissioner Fan,
I'll accept 10,000.
Commissioner Ford,
10,000 accepted.
Chairman Bradley.
10,000.
Next item is 971M. This is a $12,000 conditional offer. The license was merely suspended on March 14th.
I'll accept 12,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept 12,000 as well. They've been open since what, 1998? Yeah. So,
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
All right, we have two items left. I'm going to take the proposed advisories and delegations first, and then we'll do the summary suspension. So it's 972 and 973, which are proposed changes to an advisory and a delegation of power. I think we turn it over to Deputy Commissioner Roberts if he has anything to add.
Want to explain?
Just for clarification, the proposed advisory makes changes to the previous advisory 2019-6 into the licensing board delegation regarding member approval on duration of conditional approvals. So the advisory seeks to extend administrative privileges to the licensing bureau to allow up to 5 extensions of condition 5 6-month extensions for conditional approval, in addition to the original 6, for a total of 3 years total on conditional approvals. So the items that had previously went to the members for consideration would now be handled by the licensing bureau directly. And this sunsets at the end of the year, December 31st, 2021.
And that under that, there would be no, you'd be granting them. There'd be no denial.
That's correct. So we would be, for valid reasons, granting every extension, conditional extension of approval request up to 3 years.
And if it's an invalid reason, you'll send it to the board.
Correct.
All right, with that explanation, Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, any questions?
no
No,
questions.
I vote to approve as drafted. Thank you, Adam.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to approve as drafted as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to approve as drafted. I just want to explain the reason for this being that while I disagree with it, it's obvious that the other two commissioners are willing to give those extensions. And it does, having them come to the board every 6 months creates a great deal of paperwork that our staff has to create in order for it to come to the board every time. And since they were being regularly granted, I didn't see any point in continuing to ask them to do that paperwork when they could just grant them themselves.
And so just for completion and clarity's sake, should we go back and change that vote on that one today that we just denied?
I think that's one of those cases that because they didn't provide a valid reason, that we wouldn't consider that. And in those cases going forward, we could send those to the members for consideration.
Anytime
Okay.
they're going to deny one, they're going to send it to the board.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, then, we're going to proceed then with item 971N, which is a request from counsel's office for emergency summary order suspension. Mr. Brennan, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, I don't have your, there we go. It's Queens OP 1313705. The licensee is GT Kingston Diner, Inc.
Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, good afternoon. William Brennan for Counsel's Office. I'm here today to ask that the board summarily suspend this licensee for blatantly violating the executive orders that are in place to protect the health and safety of the public during this terrible pandemic. The licensee, GT Kingston Diner, Inc., has only been licensed since May of 2019. The premises is located at 109-08 Liberty Avenue, South Richmond Hill, New York. Council's office is making this request today because this licensee has shown a clear pattern of disregard for the current executive orders and the safety of their community. This request was triggered by an inspection that occurred this past weekend, but is in fact rooted in the fact that this licensee has been previously charged 3 times with violating the executive orders requiring face coverings be worn by employees. The licensee will now be charged a 4th time for violating the EO requiring that these employees wear appropriate face coverings. Before I go into detail about the facts and circumstances of the latest violation, I'd like to discuss the facts that led up to this point. These facts basically necessitate that this license be suspended to protect the health and safety of the public. First, in SLA case number 145788, the licensee was charged with violating the executive order requiring employees to wear appropriate face coverings. This occurred on July 27, 2020. In fact, the investigators reported that the licensee herself and 2 other employees were working without face coverings. The licensee defaulted and paid a $15,000 or $1,500 fine that was imposed by the board. Second, in SLA case 150508, the licensee was charged with violating, among other things, Executive Order 202.38 and Executive Order 202.16, which required that the employee wear a face covering. This incident occurred on October 29th, 2020. The licensee retained counsel and pleaded not guilty. This case remains open. Third, once again, in SLA case 150734, this licensee was charged with violating the executive orders, including EO 202.16, which requires employees to wear an appropriate face coverings. This violation occurred on November 5th, 2020, merely 7 days after the NYPD SLA task force had conducted an inspection on October 29, 2020. The licensee retained counsel and pled not guilty. This case also remains open. Most recently, on March 27th of 2021, at approximately 7:30 p.m., investigator Khalil conducted an inspection of the premises. Upon entering the restaurant, Khalil identified himself to the hostess and explained the reason for his visit. The hostess accompanied investigator Khalil to the kitchen, where he observed 4 employees preparing food. 2 of those employees had no face coverings, and the other 2 were improperly wearing masks below their chins. When they were alerted of the investigator's presence, the 2 employees with the improperly worn face coverings immediately pulled up their masks, and the other 2 employees who had no face coverings started to cover their faces with pieces of cloth by using their hands. Investigator Khalil asked to speak to the manager, who was not present at the time of the inspection. The hostess called the manager, Ms. Bethune, who arrived a few minutes later as Investigator Khalil was inspecting the liquor license. Ms. Bethune arrived upset and inquired about the reason for his visit. Khalil explained the reason for his visit and told her what he observed. She replied that in sum and substance, that her kitchen staff is exempt from the mask requirement because they're not working with the public. The licensee's clear pattern of behavior, notwithstanding the numerous interactions it has had with the authority and the NYPD, currently presents an immediate threat to the public health and welfare. Counsel's office has tried to gain this licensee's compliance with what can be argued as one of the most fundamental of the executive orders, but unfortunately all the previous efforts have been ignored. In fact, as I stated earlier, during the latest inspection, the manager, Ms. Bethune, who also happens to be the sole principal of the license, told the investigators in sum and substance the kitchen staff is exempt from the mask requirement because they're not working with the public. It appears that nothing the authority has done has convinced the licensee to comply with the mask requirement. Counsel's office conducts a rigorous review of cases that are considered for a summary. In this case, while the instant charges may not seem too egregious, given the fact that this licensee has exhibited a course of conduct that violates what many consider to be one of the most basic preventative health measures, public health and safety demand that we interrupt this course of conduct. Nothing short of suspension has worked thus far. The licensee is entitled to a prompt hearing, and as a public servant, I'll work to ensure that this process is expedited and fair. Counsel's office respectfully requests that this licensee be summarily suspended in order to protect the health and safety of the public.
Thank you, Bill. And just to clarify for the record, in case there's any question about this, since the Department of Health issued guidance in accordance with executive orders back in June, when for the first time on-premise services were permitted to take place after they were closed for COVID-19 reasons, that guidance has said that all kitchen staff must wear masks. That has been the rule since restaurants were reopened in June, has not changed, and she's simply wrong about that. And if you're running a business that serves the public, where your kitchen staff is touching food that will go to every patron that visits your premises, you'd think that'd be something you'd want to know. Thank you.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, any questions?
No, Bill, I just want to clarify, the first case, there was a default and a $1,500 penalty that's not paid yet, right? That's still deferred.
Actually, they did pay it.
They paid it?
Yes.
And when did they pay that?
I don't have that open right now, Commissioner, but there was a payment scanned into
Oh, interesting.
It was,
So
it
that
was,
went out before we stopped the deferral.
it was paid on November 25th.
November 25th?
Yes.
But that was after the second and the third violation. Right? Okay.
Anything else, Commissioner Fan?
No, Bill, do you know if the owner herself was wearing a mask?
On the first occasion, the report indicated that the owner herself did not have a mask on. There was no indication whether or not the owner had a mask when she arrived at the premises after it was, she wasn't working at the premises when the inspector, arrived. So he didn't report on when she arrived as the owner, whether she had a mask or not. And I don't want to draw any assumptions from that.
Okay. And it's just the kitchen staff, like the other employees were wearing a mask?
It was, all he reported, all four people who were in the kitchen, none of them had an appropriate face covering on. And as I stated, he reported that when they identified him as an SLA investigator, the two with partial masks immediately pulled him up, and the other two attempted to cover their faces in other fashions.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
Nope, I don't have any questions.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
No, I have no question.
All right, with that, I'll call for the vote of the members. First, Commissioner Fan.
Based on evidence presented by Council Brennan, this licensee either has a misunderstanding of the law, or is choosing not to comply with the governor's executive orders designed to prevent the spread of COVID-19 due to an imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
Based on evidence presented by council, I too am also voting to summarily suspend this licensee. This is like the fourth time for the same charges, so I vote to suspend.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to summarily suspend. It's clear that this licensee has no intention of complying with the governor's executive orders that were put in place for the safety of the public health and welfare. Therefore, she is a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare of her businesses. And I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, then. Chairman Bradley, I have no other items on the calendar. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't. Have a good rest of the week.
All right,
Thank
with
you.
that, this meeting is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.